Hi, Melanie. How are you today?
I'm okay, thank you.
I'm so glad you came back.
Thank you.
So, how was your week?
Uh, I I had a pretty frustrating week. I had a pretty frustrating week. My boss, who I think I've mentioned before, who's pretty like controlling and just really feels like all in my business. Um, we had a conflict, and she kind of called me out in front of a bunch of my colleagues,
Oh,
and um, really like, well, she was wrong,
mm-hmm.
and so it was ridiculous. But she really embarrassed me, and I've called in sick all 3 days this week. I don't want to go back. Um, yeah, so I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure how to handle that because I need to keep my job.
Of
Um,
course.
I need to keep my job, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can face her or the people I work with again. I don't really know what to do.
Wow. How did that happen? It was like in front of a lot of people. All your coworkers were there.
Yeah, we were in a staff meeting, and she started just kind of reviewing the week, and then she said, now I want to talk about something that happened in a program that one of you oversees, and how wrong it was, and how the leadership had been really poor. And then she said, and just so everyone knows, that was Melanie. And
Oh,
so it was like mean, um, but also not true. She misunderstood the circumstance. I felt so kind of shocked by what she said that I just, I said, that's not true, um, which made her a little more angry.
mm-hmm.
Um, so I left. I actually just left work, and then I've called in sick.
So you don't feel motivation to go back anymore? How
No.
do you feel?
Yeah, that's a good question. I do feel embarrassed. I feel really angry.
Of course.
I feel really angry, and I feel like she's a bad boss. So that makes me not want to work for her after that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And as I think about it, I get dressed to go,
Mm.
and then I imagine um, seeing her, and I just feel like I can't do it.
Do you think that she reminds you of somebody in your
Mm.
past, or that you probably spoke with you, embarrassed you in front of people that way?
Mm.
That kind of could have probably have triggered you to
Mm. I
not want to
mean,
go back.
maybe. I was, and there's lots of kids in my family, so we were getting called out for various things. The thing it
Mm-hmm.
feels maybe closest to would be I was a swimmer growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and had a coach who was
Oh.
very, um, yeah, mean, kind of mean and embarrassing. Would
Mm-hmm.
point out if you'd made an error, or have you come stand up front, and you would think you were getting like a reward or getting praise for something,
Mm-hmm.
and then would talk about, you know, you being slower or not having the right stroke form. So maybe that. Yeah, I didn't really think about that.
Sounds like the coach used to embarrass you in front of people, in front of your peers. How old
Yeah.
were you
Oh, I
when you were
swam for
swimming?
years, so probably like 7 to 15.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was a long time.
Long
Were
time.
you a good swimmer?
I was a good swimmer.
That's good. It sounds
Yeah.
like you're proud of it.
It's something I really loved. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's something I really loved.
And at the time, how do you remember how you handled that coach?
Hmm.
Did you bring humor into it? Were you very upset? Did you reach out
Hmm.
to your parents?
I
your
told my
peers
parents.
helped you?
I definitely told my parents, but I could never stand up. I could never stand up to the coach.
Hmm.
I didn't really feel like that was allowed, and I wasn't sure what would
course.
happen if I did. You know,
Of
it was
course.
something I liked so much, I didn't want to get kicked off the team or anything. So,
Of course.
um, but I would just cry to my parents, and then I would kind of imagine standing up to the coach, but I never would do it in real life. You know, where you kind of like they turn around and you pretend like, oh, I'd say this,
Yeah.
but I didn't ever say those things.
Yeah. So probably your supervisor kind of unconsciously reminded you. What do you think? How do you feel now that you kind of remember a little bit about that coach? You thought about it?
Well, yeah, I mean, I've never liked feeling that way for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I remember thinking my coach was wrong for the way that I was treated.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably wish I had been able to stick up for myself, you know.
Mm-hmm. If you had to stick up for yourself with that coach, what would you say now that you're grown up and you've learned so much?
Oh, goodness.
You have more life experience.
Yeah.
What would you say to that coach?
I think I would share how demotivating that was. That maybe for some people that's more motivating, but for me it really just sort of shut me down, discouraged me. I think I'd probably say I thought it was really rude. And maybe I would suggest or ask that for me, if there was something that was recognized I needed improvement in, that I would really appreciate and respond better if that was like an easier conversation, you know, more direct, like a coming over and saying, hey, I noticed this, you might want to try this instead of something that felt kind of like you're being put on the spot or embarrassing.
Yes, in front of your peers.
Yeah.
That must have felt really bad.
Yeah, no, I didn't like that.
For your self-esteem, I assume.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
So now that you kind of process that you could have kind of stand up for yourself and try to do a little bit of conflict resolution with that. How
with my new boss, you mean?
With
my boss?
With your coach.
Okay, with
Sounds
coach,
like
okay.
you had a little plan to do a little conflict resolution with your coach, right?
Yeah.
Now that you think about the situation again.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about approaching your supervisor that way?
Goodness.
Would you be open to think about that? Because I hear you saying you don't want to lose your job.
I know. I don't want to lose my job. I don't really want to work for her anymore either. I kind of just want to like write a mean letter, or spread rumors about her, or get back at her somehow. Maybe that's what I'd like to do. But I know that wouldn't really help me keep my job either. So it's probably not.
Do you think that would be
idea.
a good idea?
No, probably not a very good idea. Seems fun for a second, but maybe not a good idea.
Yeah.
No, I mean, a letter might not be a bad idea. And if I just...
How would you go about that letter?
I think again, kind of communicating my experience. I don't even feel the need to clarify the situation as much as let her know how it felt to be me in that, you know? Which seems like something that would be good for her to know about.
perhaps if you do that, you can give her the opportunity to realize that you got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And it's okay to be hurt
Yeah.
with something like that,
Yeah.
right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that would help her change in the future, be different,
Who
not do that
knows,
again.
right?
Yeah.
But I guess if the letter feels right to you,
Mm-hmm.
you can think about that.
Yeah. Yeah. Would I even have to send it, I wonder?
Well, let's take one step at a time,
Yeah. Yeah.
Work on the letter, and in the meantime, can you just not go to work tomorrow? What do you think?
I've already missed a lot of days.
Yeah, you missed a lot. You missed 3 days, you said.
Yeah.
So
I probably have to go tomorrow.
hmm.
I probably have to go, so I might just have to face her and pretend like nothing's wrong for now. Just kind of go about my business and do my stuff and not worry about it. And then if she approaches me about it, I can say something, but otherwise I can just sort of wait and maybe write a letter.
Sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
Do you think you can do that?
I can try.
Yeah, that's all you can do, right?
That's all I can
Try.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. And then meanwhile, you can work on that letter, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you can bring the letter in next week if you want.
Oh, that would be good. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that would be
Okay,
good.
that's a plan then.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll see you next week.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Sure.
Okay.